for the sign of Aries for September 2020 and what you can expect. I will also be doing weekly readings starting for the first week of September. So be sure to check that out. And let's get started, Aries. All right. Sign of Aries. What does Aries need to know for September 2020? Sign of Aries. What does Aries, what messages do you have for Aries for the sign of, for the sign of Aries for September 2020? What messages do you have for Aries for September 2020? All my dear sweet Aries out there, what messages do you have for Aries for September 2020? Sign of Aries. Pardon me. Messages for Aries for this September 2020. Messages for Aries for September 2020. Okay. 5 and 6 and 7. Okay, so here's what we have for you today, Aries. I'll go through the cards and then we'll flip them all over and we'll see what we have, and I'll reveal the positions for them as we go. So your current situation is the Ten of Swords. Your obstacle, challenge, is the Moon. What you aspire to is the Hermit. What needs to be awakened, we have the Page of Swords. In the past, we have the Queen of Pentacles. The next step is the Four of Cups, and your outcome is the Two of Pentacles. So, as we go through here, and then at the end of the reading, I will pull a card from the Moonology Oracle deck for some advice. So, let's just dive right in here, guys. So, Aries, Ten of Swords. This is your current situation. So some of you may have felt like somebody has stabbed you in the back, quite literally. You may be feeling betrayed. But I'm getting more the sense that something's over. I mean, even though that this doesn't look like a very pleasant card, it's a difficult situation. It's a difficult ending. It's a tough ending. It's something that you have struggled through, and maybe even wondered if you'd ever get through it. But as it turns out, a painful ending, at least it's an ending, right? The good news is that even though your current situation may be this, and this is how you actually feel, maybe you actually feel this way. The good news is that if you take a look at this card, you can see off on the horizon, the dark skies are clearing, and the sun is coming out again, and everything is going to clear up and be just fine. And that's kind of like the silver lining. The Ten of Swords can often be a very difficult energy to be in, but it's not one that lasts for a long time. So you're done with something is over and finished, and now it's kind of the moving on from that. Your challenge is the Moon. I think what the challenge is for you here, Aries, is that you're not quite seeing things for what they really are. Something is kind of, you can't see, it's like an illusion, right? And you're not seeing, there's something that you can't see right now. You're not seeing it, and it's kind of hidden from you. And that's makes it so that it's difficult to move on, especially from a situation like this, because you think, oh my goodness, I've felt this way for so long, and then why is nothing happening? Why aren't things changing? Why haven't I been able to advance and move forward, or whatever the case might be for you individually? But it's always difficult, because the Moon reminds you that everything is not as it seems. Just because it looks a certain way or feels a certain way now, that doesn't mean the way it's always going to be, right? So try to see beyond that and try to see the big picture, which is not always easy to do, let's be honest. What you aspire to, we have the Hermit. And, this really kind of speaks to that Ten of Swords and that painful ending that took place for you. Because the Hermit is about, healing. You want to heal from whatever took place here for this Ten of Swords. And the Hermit is one that we all have the ability, and that's what the Hermit reminds us of, pardon me, is that every single one of us has the ability to heal ourselves. Whether you believe it or not, the reality is that you do. And the way you go about that, it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. Essentially, you need to go within, right? But that's what you're looking to, illuminate those parts of you that need to be healed and acknowledged, right? Because a lot of times, in the society, in this world that we live in, we're told to suppress certain things and put on your big boy pants or put on your big girl pants and take it like a man, or whatever the case might be for you, and that's not beneficial for anybody, right? That serves the ego, and that just serves the way that things have been, and things are definitely changing across the entire world. So, but what this says is that you aspire to be you again, to be connected with yourself again, and to heal from whatever this painful ending was, right? And maybe that is exactly what the moon is saying, is that you don't know how, you can't see the way, and it doesn't seem like anything is getting to this point of healing. Like, it only just seems like you're kind of stuck maybe in this energy, but the good news is that there's where there's a will, there's a way, right? And the moon lets you know too that everything will be revealed in time. What needs to be awakened within you, we have the Page of Swords, and keeping in with this theme here of the healing that needs to take place from this Ten of Swords. And it's the Page of Swords is about it's communication. It's seeking the truth, but it's also it's like standing up for yourself and being like, no, you know what, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna charge forward with this. And maybe you don't have all the answers, and maybe you don't have all the know-how of exactly how it's gonna be. But the page doesn't care. The page is going to go forward anyways, because they seek the truth, and they seek to communicate and they seek to speak that truth, not just to other people and those that are around them, but also to themselves and within themselves. And if you're able to awaken that, if you're able to awaken, that truth within. And stand up for what you know and believe deep inside, then it's going to go a long way to helping you to achieve that healing, that shining that inner light on those parts of you that you'd rather not really shine a light on, but that they have to have a light shined on them, simply for the fact that it's never going to change unless you do. And the Page of Swords, like I said, doesn't really know all how it's going to happen, but it's that initial drive, it's that newness of it, it's that new beginning of like, hey, you know what, I can do this, right? I can overcome this Ten of Swords, and I can discover the truth within me that I seek in order to achieve the healing that I need. And then it's coming, right? It's coming. So in your recent past, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Now, this could be a couple of different things for you. This might be somebody that you actually know. Someone that has helped you, maybe financially. Maybe they were just could even just be your own mother or parent or a grandparent, but somebody who has been there for you, and nurtured you and cared for you and given you a safe place to kind of be yourself and come back down to who you need to be, helping you to ground yourself and provide you with the love and the nurturing that you need in order to overcome this painful ending that some of you have clearly gone through. Also, this may also have just been you, because like I said, we all have the ability to heal ourselves. And maybe you've been taking time for yourself and taking care of yourself in all the right ways, right? Which I feel like a lot of you have. You've been taking the time for yourself, and you've been compassionate with yourself and caring and loving and grounding yourself, knowing that when you're kind of scattered and all over the place, that's not really going to serve you well, right? And the Queen brings you back down to earth, right? She's very grounded. She's very like a very earthy feel to her. She's got a good solid foundation beneath her feet, and she knows what she needs to do in order to love and nurture herself, but also take care of all the aspects, not just her mental state, but her physical state, her finances. This is somebody who has taken care of themselves when it comes to work and career and finances and all of the aspects of money, in order to create stability in their lives. And that's what she has. That's what she represents. She represents stability, groundedness, and she's very sure-footed, and she's confident, but at the same time she's very very happy to help not just others but herself, right? And so whether that has been you doing that for yourself, and I think a lot of you have been taking time for yourself, especially with the current climate, the way that things are across the world, maybe you have a lot of extra free time, and rather than trying to figure out how you're going to move forward every second of the day and try to fight the power, so to speak, you've taken the time that's been offered to you and looked after yourself in all the right ways. Or like I mentioned, there's been somebody else in your life that has helped you. The next stage for you, Aries, is we have the Four of Cups. So I'm feeling like, and we all go through this. Everyone goes through this at times, but I'm getting the feeling that like your next stage is for you you're gonna realize what's actually being offered to you, right? If you take a look at the figure right here, I mean, he's sitting there and he's not really paying attention to this other cup that's being offered to him, right? But it signifies that he's not ready. We're not always ready for that, to see that, to accept that, to bring that into our lives. And I feel like the next stage is for a lot of you is to recognize what is actually being offered to you, and take the time, just like you've been doing with the Queen of Pentacles, and you desire, you aspire to become the Hermit, where you're healed, you're healing yourself, you're doing the things for yourself that you know that you need to do to get yourself to a place that you know that you want to be. And there's a process to it, and that's what makes it difficult. That's why, like the moon, that's why you can't see it. That's why it's a challenge for many of you, because you can't see that far. And as you can see right here, the figure on the card, he can't see this cup that's being offered to him. He can't see it because certain things have to take place first. There's other things that need to come into play. There's other acknowledgments. It's a very step by step, and then you can't skip any of the steps, right? And when you're ready for the next one, and that's what your next is going to be, you're going to be ready for this next step. And when you are, you're going to be able to see what is actually being offered to you. Whether it be love, compassion, but emotional stability at the same time, right? Where, you may have felt emotionally unstable as a result of a painful ending that you've gone through. But the next step is to continue to take the time that you've been taking for yourself and seek that inner truth and have that determination to move forward. Aries, you're a natural born leader, so not just of others, but you have to be that way within as well, and with yourself, right? Take the lead that you know that you need to, but when the time comes, the next step is going to be you're going to recognize what is actually being offered to you, and what it is that you need to bring yourself back together. If you're feeling like something is missing and you can't really identify what that is, it's going to become clear. It's going to become clear. And you're going to find out that when you can take the time, meditating is a great idea. I feel also too, like, pardon me, you can see that here they are, and they're sitting outside underneath this tree. And you would be surprised exactly how beneficial getting outside in nature. I mean, and I understand not everybody's going to have this opportunity to do so, but if you do, I would encourage you to do exactly what he's doing right here. Go out there, bring a journal with you maybe, some headphones, listen to some music. Find a place where you can sit and be within nature, and in doing so, you'd be surprised what insights and what realizations, even breakthroughs that you can have just by reconnecting and grounding yourself in this way. If you have the opportunity, go outside, sit under a big tree. What else are you doing? Turn off the TV, turn off the distractions, bring a journal with you and a pen, and just reflect a little bit, right? And you'd be surprised what you can see, what's actually being offered to you, because there's a lot out there that is being made available to you, and you've done the necessary work already. So you're gonna recognize what this is, because it's gonna be different for each of you. But you're gonna recognize what this is, and when that happens, when you're able to see that, and you've taken the time to recognize, and just taking the time to go within, because that's what the hermit does too, right? And there's no shame in it. And we often get very, very impatient because things aren't happening fast enough, right? I'm a Gemini. I know all about being impatient, believe you me. My mind moves super, super, boom, next, boom, boom, boom. But it's learning to slow down and realizing that just because things aren't happening as fast as you like does not mean that they are actually happening. So your next step is to take that time, meditate, contemplate in quiet solitude. It doesn't have to be all the time, but take some time for yourself to get to that space where you're away from everybody else, because that's when you make things quiet. Because if you take a look, there's nothing else around him. There's nothing else around him. It's just him on his own and the trees and nature. And that's good, right? And it'll open you up. It'll help to open you up to what it is that you need to, there it is, bang. Like what you need to accept, what you need to recognize, what you need to acknowledge. And that's going to help you, and it's going to propel you into your outcome, which is the Two of Pentacles. And really, I feel strongly that this is really what a lot of you are looking for. I feel a lot of you are looking for that balance, that equilibrium, and you've been juggling a lot of different things in your life. You got work, you got family, you got maybe a spouse or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and you're trying to make everybody happy, and you're trying to do all these things, and then you're trying to do this on your own as well. You're trying to take care of yourself at the same time, and that's not easy to do when you have everything else coming at you, right? But this outcome says, you take a look. I don't know if you can really see it in the background here, but in the background it's quite choppy waters. There's big up and down and wavy and everything like that. But, the ships are still there. They're not sinking. And that balance is you're going to be able to prioritize everything a lot better. You're going to feel that internal balance too, right? Where you feel like you've got a hold on things, because with the Ten of Swords, there's a feeling like you don't have any control, and you don't really have a hold on anything, right? But with the Two of Pentacles, this is balance, and bringing balance back into your life so that you can handle everything and nothing is too overwhelming. And even when those waters get a little choppy, you're still going to be able to maintain balance. And that's what does balance lead to? Balance leads to happiness, contentment, and an overall like a better feeling overall, right? And it helps you to find clarity. So yeah, I think that's actually, you're doing all the right things, Aries. You really are. You're taking care of yourself. Try to be patient, because just because things aren't moving the way that as quickly as you would like, or you don't see an end in sight, this 10 of Swords, it's a 10. 10s denote an ending. So sometimes endings take longer than we think. There's other energies and aspects and things that are going on behind the scenes that we are not aware of. And that is what the moon lets you know. So just trust that the universe has your back. You're doing all the right work here, right? Keep going as you are, because you're moving in a position. You're moving in a way that is moving forward in a way that is good. Like you're on track, right? So keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing a good job and you're doing it right. And that's going to lead you to that balance that you seek. Where you're going to balance the past and the future in the here and now, and everything that you will have learned from the past is going to help you to find balance in the here and now, right? And by taking the steps that you're clearly taking, it's going to help you achieve this balance. And it's not going to matter what's going on around you. You're going to be good, and you're going to find it, and it's going to help you to prioritize, because already your priorities, you've been doing things right. So allow that to continue. All right, we're going to pull a card here from the Moonology Oracle deck for some. Oh, there we go. That was quick. I didn't even get a chance to ask, but see, this actually is no surprise. So we have the North Node, and it is step out of your comfort zone. That's the advice from the moon. And when we have, especially like with this Page of Swords, and what needs to be awakened, right? And I feel these are going very, very hand in hand, and as well as this. Let's put them kind of in a better order here, right? So actually we'll go like this. So this page, what needs to be awakened within you is that seeking of truth. Like I said, you may not know exactly what it is that you might even be looking for, and how to communicate, but you can communicate with yourself, your higher self, your inner self. And and it's just like this. You see that cup that's being offered? That's what's being offered to you, is not something that you can't see, right? It's not something that you can see in this physical 3D world that we live in, right? And that's what the moon is telling you, right? You can't see it. Your thing. Everything is not as it seems, and what's being offered to you is that it comes from within, right? Because we all have that divine light inside us, and that truth that you seek, what needs to be awakened, is your inner truth. You need to pursue that and have the determination and tenacity to do it. And this page is almost fearless in seeking out the truth and starting that new beginning, and not being afraid to discover oneself. And just like this, like you see this, like imagine this is everything that you can see, feel, smell, and touch, right? All these 3 cups, and this is the one that's being offered to you that you can't. because it's like a sixth sense. And the way that you achieve that is by stepping out of your comfort zone, right? Believe. Allow yourself to dive into unknown waters, right? Because stepping out of your comfort zone, it's not easy, right? Everything that you do on a regular basis, everything that you know, everything that you've experienced, and that keeps you safe and keeps you doing what you're doing. But there's one extra step that you're encouraged to take, right? And that's what the hermit does. This is what you aspire to, whether you realize it or not, right? It's just it's the hermit goes within and discovers that healing, that knowledge, that wisdom that we all have inside us, and shines a light on it and allows it to be known and brings it into his conscious awareness. But there's certain steps that need to be taken, and you need to accept these things, or at the very least, even if you cannot accept them right now, step out of your comfort zone and see what you find. You don't have anything to lose. That is the beauty of all of this, is that when you're on this path, you really don't have anything to lose by diving into yourself and seeking out personal truths and things that you didn't realize that you were capable of. You are absolutely capable of so much more than you realize, dear Aries. You really, truly are. We all are. Step out of your comfort zone. It's not easy to do, but like I said, you're a natural leader, and allow yourself to lead yourself to unknown waters and unknown places, and places that maybe you never would have considered before, but they're deep within inside. And quiet your mind and connect with yourself, and you'd be surprised what you discover. All right, well, that's your reading there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful month of September, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.